Is the Sigma 18 to 35mm lens still worth buying in 2022? Well, in this video, we're going to find out. This is Andre here with Camera Review Pro. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Sigma 18 to 35mm lens and going over whether or not it's still worth buying. Now, before we go any further, I do want to remind you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It helps out the channel a lot. But with that being said, let's get into the video. Now, first off, I do want to point out that we actually have some aftermarket accessories on this lens to help protect it, improve its performance, and to make it work with this specific camera. First of all, we got a BW lens protector, and this is not only going to add an extra layer of protection to the lens, but it's also going to help filter out UV light and overall improve the picture a lot. This is a great accessory to have in general, but it's especially good if you're shooting photos and videos outside where there's lots of sunlight. The second accessory we have is a Canon EOS M mount adapter. Now, this adapter is really cool. Being an official Canon product, you can count on it being extremely durable and really well made. This adapter basically allows you to use EF and EFS lenses with the more compact Canon cameras that are built for M lenses. So just keep in mind, if you're using a camera like a Canon M50 or maybe a Canon M100 or something like that that's more compact and is built for M lenses, you can still use this lens with that camera. You just need this adapter. But overall, these accessories do make a huge difference, and you will be seeing them on this lens throughout the video. Now, if you are interested in either of these products, we will have the links in the video description, so be sure to check them out for the latest info on pricing and availability, because this information is always changing. Now, despite having been around for a little while now, this lens is still really popular. It has the ability to capture a really high quality picture with vivid colors and sharp details even in low lighting. And the autofocus is also really fast and responsive, making it a good choice for vlogs and other types of videos. Overall, this lens is not only really high quality as far as the actual image itself goes, but it also has the versatility to be great for everyday use. I'm going to show you a few sample pictures so you can see for yourself. So as you can see with this picture, the details are really sharp and vivid, and the colors are also really nice and professional looking as well. Another thing I really like about this picture is how nicely the background is blurred and the subject is really focused in on. That's one great thing about this lens. It really has a lot of depth to it. So if you want to take those more professional photos with a lot of focus on the subject, maybe it's a portrait photo or something like that, this lens is going to be great. This is another photo where we really get to see how great the depth is with this lens. As you can see here, we're focusing on the trees that are a little bit more far away, and it still blurs out pretty much everything else. And it doesn't just do it in a choppy way like a smartphone might, but it does it in a really tasteful, professional way that gives the photo a nice high-end appearance. In this photo, it's the same kind of thing. As you can see here, we're really focused in on the subject and everything else is extremely blurred out. Once again, showing how capable this lens is of capturing a really professional looking photo with a good amount of depth to it. Another thing I really like about this photo is the sharper details and vivid colors. Like the other photos, this really goes to show how sharp and high quality the image captured by this lens really is. Here's another great example of how professional the photos from this lens look. In this photo, the focus is really on point, it's super sharp where it needs to be, and really blurred out where it needs to be as well. And as you can see here, it's not like everything around the immediate area of the subject is blurred out. It really goes into a more gradual blur, making it look a lot more natural and professional. Now, another thing I would like to point out about these photos is that they don't really have much of a cinematic look. They're great if you're trying to get natural, more professional photos, but at the same time, if you're looking for a more cinematic look, maybe you're recording a music video or something like that, or maybe portrait photos for a special occasion, the image this lens produces, while being extremely high quality and professional, doesn't have that type of look with the extra vivid colors and over the top details. Here we are with a more close-up, super detailed image. Now, keep in mind, this is not a macro lens by any means, but at the same time, the lens is still more than capable of getting a really close-up, detailed photo. Now, with this last photo, I want to give a little context behind it so you can really see how much of a difference this lens makes over a lower quality lens. So with this photo, the actual lighting wasn't very good, This lens still actually lets a lot of light in and creates a really vivid looking, sharp professional image. With this photo, even though the angle is slightly different, it's still basically the same object, same lighting, everything, and it was taken with the kit lens of the Canon M50. Now as you can see here, huge difference, no pun intended, but it's like night and day. Now the Sigma 18-35mm lens is actually pretty well known to be a great lens to use in lower lighting, which is why a lot of people use it for indoor YouTube videos. And the difference between this photo and this photo really goes to show why. So we're currently doing a quick video test with the Sigma 18-35mm lens. Right now we have the lens on a Canon M50, and I will say I'm really impressed with the quality of this image. Now I know a lot of you are going to be curious about the autofocus, so in case you're wondering, this is what it looks like. But one thing I will say about it is, as you could probably tell, it is pretty loud, so if you're doing something like a vlog, keep this in mind because the sound of the lens just focusing on something might be a little bit disruptive, but if you're in a loud environment anyway, with a good microphone, this might not really be much of a problem. Now speaking of audio, we are recording with the Rode video mic right now, so if you like the sound of this microphone, be sure to check the link in the video description because we will have it there. So now that we've gone over some of the cool things about this lens, I'm going to go over a few complaints I have. Now the first thing is the zoom itself. Now on one hand, if you have everything zoomed all the way out, the lens isn't really very wide. So if you want to get really wide angle shots, while the lens can do it, there are other lenses out there that can do a better job. But at the same time, when you're zooming all the way in, it's really not very tight either. I mean, it is an 18-35mm lens, so I don't really expect a whole lot from it. But at the same time, if you're doing stuff like nature shots, maybe taking pictures of wild animals or something where you really want to be able to zoom in a lot, this is probably not going to be the lens for that. Another thing about this lens I don't particularly care for is how big and unwieldy it is. As you can probably see just by looking at it, it is a heavy lens, and on a camera like the Canon M50 for example, like in this video, the Canon M50 is not a very big camera, so putting this giant heavy lens on it is gonna make it really uncomfortable to use for vlogging and stuff like that, even though the actual functionality of the lens itself is really good for vlogging. In addition to that, putting it on a tripod is a little bit of a process that's pretty inconvenient because you can't use the adapter on the camera itself, you actually have to use the mount on the lens, otherwise it's most likely gonna fall over. So overall, while the lens may be really good on paper for stuff like vlogging, in reality, because of its size and shape, it is still gonna be pretty uncomfortable. So in conclusion, is the Sigma 18-35mm lens worth buying in 2021? I would say, despite a few drawbacks, it absolutely is still worth buying. If you're trying to take photos and videos in lower lighting, or if you want a really high quality image with great depth to it, nice colors, and really sharp details, this lens is going to be a great option. The only thing I really truly don't like about it is its size and shape, just because it makes it super uncomfortable to hold when you're moving the camera around a lot, like during a vlog. Other than that, maybe the zoom is a little bit unsatisfying. It doesn't get super wide angles or super tight angles either, but at the same time, with a lens like this, you can only expect so much. All in all, this is a great all-around lens for general photography and lower light video recording. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you found this information useful as well. If you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and as always, I will see you in the next video.